we're going to start. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We're hoping it's going to be less chaotic than the negative space, but we never know. There goes Leon again. Maybe not. Okay, so I think what probably gets some people is the description that we give when we do these technical challenges, and we tend to be a bit airy-fairy and creative. And so I found another explanation, which I'm hoping will be better. And then I'm going to go through the actual physical things that you can do with your camera, and I'm going to show you how to wobble and all sorts of things like that. Okay, so if you want, somewhere there you'll get a view, and right at the top it says sign in, recording, and it says view, and if you click on the view, you can just say speaker, and so you'll hopefully just see me. I'm just seeing Doug for some reason, and then hopefully you can look at the things that I'm going to show you. How's it, Tracy? Okay, so ICM, intentional camera movement, where the photographer deliberately moves the camera or lens during a longer shutter exposure to create an abstract, painterly image with streaks, blurs, textures, rather than sharp, realistic depictions. Okay, so abstract blurs with zooming or panning landscapes, painterly streaks of light in forests or cityscapes, and ghosting effects. Okay, and as I put some examples on the WhatsApp group, you don't have to be near a forest, you don't have to go to the beach, you can actually do it with everyday objects in your home. Okay, so that's kind of what it is. Now, you have your camera. I know you can't see the back, okay, but where you put it on manual, all right, and then your shutter speed, your f-stop, put your f-stop as high as it can go for now, ISO as low as it can go, so 100. Mine's on 200, which you can't see, because I'm on Canon and I'm on highlight priority, so that's the lowest you can go. So when you now want to choose, you can vaguely see that orange thing, when you want to change your shutter, you start moving and it goes 160, 140, 30, and you carry on going, and suddenly you get into like one with two little straps on the side, and that is 1 second. Okay, so most of this stuff you're going to do at half a second, 1 second, or 2 seconds. So 1 second to 2 seconds for your shutter speed on manual. Your f-stop as high as it can go. Every camera is different. Mine, the highest it can go is f22. And I think that's also related to the lens that you use. And then your ISO as low as possible. And start with that. Okay. If you inside, Leon, I think you're back. If you inside, then I pushed my ISO up a little bit and I brought my f-stop down. If you outside and it's a really bright day, then you're going to need your highest f-stop. Okay. Right. Now you've got all those settings. Focus on whatever you're going to pan or fiddle. You've got to at least start with the focus. And then, so every photo shoot that I've done this year, I have left this on. And I actually went and I did some dogs the other day, and I said, there's something wrong with my camera. I'm so sorry. I'm just seeing black. She said, your lens cap is still on. But seriously, it's quite something. So, okay, you're going to focus, all right? And then you're going to press your shutter down. And as you press it down, you're going to move your camera. Okay, so you're either going to go up, or you're going to go down like this, or you're going to wiggle, or you're going to wiggle. Okay, literally that's it. So press it, and then it just went. You can't see like a really blurry, fuzzy image. It's actually quite nice. Okay.
There's also the zooming in and zooming out with your lens.
I'll get to that. Yeah. So that's what you do with your camera. Now, before I go on, please don't take one and look at it and study it and go, oh God, it's terrible. You take one and then you go again. You take another picture and you take another picture and you go this way and you go this way. I want you to take at least 10 pictures before you look at your screen, before you see, oh God, because sometimes it looks terrible. And then every now and again, one will click. I've got a whole lot of photos I'm going to show you. I didn't delete any that I took the other day. I'm going to show you in Lightroom what some did and what some didn't do, because some aren't going to work. So if you take one and it doesn't work, relax, try again. Okay. If you got lots of trees, it's usually quite nice to go up and down. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can go slowly. So if you're doing 1 second, you can go slow. Okay. And then there's not lots of blur, or you can open it for 1.5 seconds and go quite fast. If you want to go this way, okay, if you want something really, really smooth, put it on a tripod, open it for 2 seconds if you can, and you can do this and this really smoothly. I've seen beautiful professional photographers, they put it on a tripod and they do that. Doesn't have to be a tripod. I never use a tripod. Okay, so you can do that. You can just do it once, maybe that's 1/2 second, and or if it's 1 second, you can go twice. Okay, you can go slowly for 1 second. Okay, remember if you're doing 1 second to 2 second, your f-stop needs to be as high as possible. If you're outside and it's a very bright day, you're probably going to need an ND filter. So if you don't have it, go out early in the morning or when it gets to dusk and try to do something there. But as I said, I did it inside and I was actually right down to f13. So you don't need those very high things, and you don't need an ND filter, obviously, if you're doing it inside. Right, then there's the zoom thing. Now, you've got to do this with a zoom lens. If you've got a prime lens like macro, you can't do it. The turning ring is your focus ring, so that doesn't help. It's got to be a zoom. So, and you need a small lens, okay, because you're going to be doing this. Okay, if you've got a big 6600, you're going to have to put that on the tripod and try and do it. But really, you need a landscapey lens. So this is a 24-105 or an 18-55. That's the best lens to use. Leon, are you happy with that? Do you think that's the best lens?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so what you do is you find something. Now, you've got to find a subject. Don't just put it on some odd piece of bush and try and do it. And then the end result is actually quite ugly because the starting picture was a bit ugly. Okay, I'm not saying you have to choose the most beautiful scenery, but the better the scenery, the better the thing you're going to photograph, the better the end result. Okay, so you are literally going to do, and I'm going to go this on the side. So there's two ways you can zoom out and then you can zoom in. So if you're doing, say, 1 second, you focus, you hold your shutter speed down, you zoom out, and then the photo will be taken. You do it again and you zoom in, and then you've got 2 photos at least. And then you go again. Okay, and you focus, shutter down, you go again, you go again, you go again. If you've got like a 2 second, or you're very fast, if you've got 2 seconds, you can maybe go and do it both. But then again, you see, look, I'm already moving this so much. So if you're going to do that, it's quite nice to have a tripod. If there's a little bit of camera shake, that's okay, because it's called intentional camera movement. But you do want you don't want something so ugly and weird. And I know ugly and beautiful is quite subjective. We'll get to that. Okay, so I hope that helps with just the whole thing kind of thing and your settings. Okay, this is what I used. This is just a notebook. I used this notebook, okay, and then I used this gift bag, which I think it wasn't very, oh, this camera is going in and out. It wasn't very pretty. If you get something prettier, I've also found this like mandala thing. So that's a coaster. So you can do a really nice zoomy thing with that. Okay. That's all I want to say technically before I get to examples. Leon, is there anything else you want to add?
Just be aware that I missed the beginning of this. Sorry, I don't know if you mentioned this, but just be aware that very often with this technique, your images are overexposed because you're using such a long shutter speed. That, like you said, I heard you say that you've got to use the smallest aperture you possibly can. And I found that 1 and 2 seconds are too long. It just gives me a very overexposed image. I found about a 20th of a second to a 30th of a second gives me enough movement, but I can also see what the original subject was as well. So yes, it's all very nice to have very abstract images that are totally foreign and totally abstract, obviously, but it's nice to also see a little bit of what the subject you intended to photograph. So if it was trees, you could land up just having a brown blur. But with a slightly shorter shutter speed, you might actually differentiate the lights and the shades and the textures and things like that, which adds another dimension. And I just feel it just adds to the image. I don't know how you feel about that, Des.
Yes, no, I agree. So I was doing it inside, so 1 to 2 seconds was fine. It was actually better. If you
Yeah,
outside, yeah, if 1 to 2 if even half a second is too much, then take it
yeah.
up to 1/120th or
120.
1/40th. Yeah, but
Yeah,
then just
yeah,
really shake,
yeah.
but again, this is just practice. The first time you do it, you probably, because we are taught never to shake your camera, the first one you take is like this, and it's going to be super sharp. I bet you your first one will be super sharp. But
Yeah.
just play. This is about playing and having fun.
You know
Okay.
what I actually also found useful was to put on my 2 second timer so that my timer starts working and I start moving and
Yes.
then the shutter releases. So I'm actually already moving. I don't have to start moving when I press the shutter.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
find I get a more, how can I say, a cleaner image that way, put it that way. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm just going to share now. Share screen. Close. Okay. So I've got some examples somewhere. I closed the folder. There we go. Okay. View small. Okay. So here is something that was the original scene. Okay. And what she then did was, oh, you know what I did? I opened it in Earthen View. That's why, because it's just so much easier to control. Okay, there we go. So that was the original view. I know it's pixelated, but it's from the internet. Okay. So she did two. The first one and was half a second slow panning. So she went like that. And the second one was fast panning, but it was also half a second. And it's very smooth. So she's obviously done this a while. It's not like the kind of thing. So on the left, you can see a little bit of the original scene. And on the right, it's a lot more abstract. But you can still see there was something there with
Yeah.
trees, which is actually quite nice.
Yeah.
This is another one. This is an example of an absolutely beautiful scene on the left.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
I mean, you don't even have to do RCM, but then you do the RCM and you get this most amazing. This was with an ND filter and she did 1 second. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is up there. You'll see it was 1/6 of a second, F2 ISO 500. And this was on a tripod and they literally just swept left to right. Okay. I have seen one where they do left to right and they go back again and you get the most beautiful just lines coming in. You don't even get this here. So yeah, it's up to you. Play. That's the big thing, play. Okay. This was a very interesting one. This was Yachts in a Harbour. And this was her with 1 second. The yachts were bobbing around a bit. And she literally did this twice in 1 second. And then, because if it's vertical, most people go like that. If it's horizontal, then people kind of do that. And that's where we seem to get the best result. She then took the same scene and she went this way. And so you get a very different result. Okay, so don't, oh, well, it's vertical, I'll do that. Try this. Okay. This was just a scene with a little bit of camera wiggle. So she, I think this was 1.5 seconds, and she literally just wiggled, he wiggled the camera a little bit, and then you start getting this ghosting feeling, which is just fantastic. Okay, but you kind of got to think about what is the scene in front of you. So this is obviously very planned. Okay. This was something that I did quite a while ago. We were fiddling out somewhere, and this is one of those zoomy ones. I don't know if it was this way or this way. Again, there was kind of a hut there. You focus on the hut, and then you zoom out or you zoom in. Okay, I don't know what it was, or maybe it was both. I don't know. But there was kind of a focal point to begin with, and then everything zooms out. From a technical point of view, I think this here, this white band doesn't work so well. So remember, for the technical challenges, even though you're doing negative space, even though you're doing zooming in and out and panning, you still got to look at your highlights, you still got to look at your shadows. Obviously with this, not so much the sharpness. This was also done then. I think this is a little bit too abstract-y. There's no sort of, I don't know if you actually need a focal point, but I think if you've got something like this, to me, is better than the grasses.
Yeah.
This was kind of just this lovely bushes with bright colors. And again, I zoomed in and out kind of thing. Now, this one and this one, I put my camera shutter, my camera speed was 1/5 of a second, and it was f/22, and I was playing around. And then I went to take this photo, and by mistake, it took this one. So again, you can have a normal scene, and just at 1/5 of a second, you don't have to pan. You literally, your camera's going to shake anyway. You think you got a steady hand. If you don't have a steady hand, that's going to really work in this place, because your camera at some point is going to move. So you can get really abstracty things like that. This was the same thing, 1/5 of a second. That was the ocean and someone jumping into the ocean. So again, like, you can plan this, get someone to jump, and your camera shutter opens and closes again, and then you get something really blurry and abstract. Unfortunately, this is way, way out of date. I would actually use that because I really quite like that. This was the packet that I took yesterday, and that was the book. For the packet, I went up and down quite a few times. For the book, I wiggled. And then for this, I zoomed in and out. Okay, I think I zoomed in, took the picture, zoomed out. I don't know which one kind of was there. Okay, this is also like one of those zoomies. I think this is possibly with an ND filter on a tripod, and quite a few, because there's lots and lots going on there, Leon. So I think they probably did that quite a few times. And like they've got the shutter open for maybe 3 seconds or something. Okay. This is another interesting one. It's beautiful, hey?
Absolutely.
So something is coming towards you. You make your timing. I think this was about a 2 second. He said the train was going quite slowly, and as it's coming to you, you open it and you just wiggle. You're doing everything you're not supposed to do. You're just wiggling it a bit. Then you try again and you try again. Okay. So I'm coughing now. I'm going to have some water. This.
Sorry, can I stop you there? The one with the train. Interesting how the sign on the left and the other sign on the right are still relatively unblurred. I don't know how they get that right.
You can see a little bit there.
Yeah, what could have happened, it could have been a double exposure, because I've done this recently. When I do a double exposure, I take one image that is dead still and I get all the clarity that I need, and then I take another image on top of it and move the camera. So I get some very sharp detail and then some very blurry detail all in the same image. And that's possibly what could have happened here.
Yes, that's true. So we got double exposure coming up. And if you're on the Banter group, you saw some lovely stuff. And this could possibly have been done in camera. So maybe this is just double exposure plus wiggling. Okay. It's still a beautiful image. Okay.
Beautiful, yeah.
This was, someone took Stonehenge. I put this in because just to try something. He said he moved his camera in an arc. So so I just believe him. Okay. This was Wynand's image, which I absolutely loved. And Wynand, you there? You wiggled the camera. Is that correct?
It is. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, that was literally just a wiggle, eh? But a vicious shake, actually, not just a wiggle. I think this was at 2 seconds about, and I think my camera went to f40. I didn't even know my camera had a f40. So you learn the exposure triangle quite quickly. And it was quite overexposed until I brought it into Photoshop or Lightroom, and it actually came out very nice. I'm quite chuffed with this,
Yes, no, it's lovely. So now, this is I don't know what you photographed here. Was it flowers or?
It's actually a tree. No, it's actually a tree.
Okay, all right. So now, Wynand also did this. I don't think this worked because I think the scene wasn't nice enough. But all of this, I mean, that is just amazing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks like oil paintings kind of thing. I do think this works if it's maybe just cropped a little bit about the ducks. But again, ducks, they actually moving along as well as you moving. So you get this really ghostly effect, which is just gorgeous. I did this a few years ago with my Samsung cell phone. This is with a cell phone. That's these sticky things, these sticky things that you get that
right.
you, whoops. Yeah, so go through your house and anything that goes up, like a whole row of pencils, things like that. So that's why it's a bit pixelated, because it was on the cell phone. This was also from Wynand. I thought this was fantastic. And I love it that it's not centered. You've obviously cropped it into rule of thirds. We must stop saying rule of thirds, because if you come to that judges thing that we're doing, which you don't have to be a judge and you don't want to have to be a judge to come, it's really just looking at photos and looking more in depth at every single category that we've got. There's no rule of thirds. It's actually guideline of thirds. Okay, it's a guideline. It just 90% of images look better on the rule of thirds, on the third of thirds. I have to come up with something else. Okay, Wynand, I think this was your best image. So you pointed the camera at the top and you just zoomed. Hey.
Hi, Des. Yeah, this was a wiggle. No, this was zoom. You're right. You're right. This was a zoom, but you can see how my camera actually moved a little bit. This must have been about at 2 seconds as well.
Yes.
So yeah, no, this was just looking at up at a tree and literally just zooming it.
Yeah, and you can see like a little bit of movement there, but this is the whole point, and the end result is really pretty.
Sure,
Okay.
thanks. Yeah.
So
That was quite a nice image. Something else that I see, and I think one of the previous images that you did show, that one with the rounded, some guys do turn their camera 360. You know what I'm saying? They actually move it in a circle.
Oh yes,
Which
okay.
created, that previous one you had of the forest.
Yes.
I think that might have been literally turning your camera. Where is that one? One further, Des, on the right on the, yes, that one. So I think that one might have been done with literally taking your camera and turning it, I don't know, to spinning it. Is that the better word? Yeah.
Must have sort of had some kind of contraption or something. But
No,
again,
you
it's
just
just
spin it. No, it's easy. No, you literally just take your camera and you twist it. Yes, yeah.
But the thing is here that you've got that center leaf that is sharp.
so sharp.
I think it's double exposure again, eh?
It's either a double exposure or it's created in post-processing.
In post-processing, yeah. But that I think is literally just twisting your camera, and you don't have to twist it a lot to get that spinning feeling out of it. I did a few like that. I just didn't add them on. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, so this is all those images that I took, and I just want to show you. Some don't work. That was, go through your images. That was just blurry. It wasn't really, you couldn't really see anything happening. And then I really started to move, and suddenly you're moving. That was too much. You're going to get all of these. Okay, I don't even know what I was doing there. But out of all of those, like one worked. Okay, and it's starting to work a little bit. You see a little bit of double kind of stuff. And then I don't know what I did there. Okay, so then the book, I was wiggling, and I just thought that was the best one. Wiggled. That went weird. Okay, so try different things, and you're going to see some work, some don't work. That didn't work. I quite liked that one, and that one. And then I thought that one was the best kind of thing. So go. Just play and play and play and play. That's kind of what I have to say. Stop sharing. Okay.
Can you share for me, please? I just want to show one or two images.
Click on share. Can you share? Wait, let me just see. All participants. Yes, you can share, Leon.
Okay. What am I? Oh, there's share. Okay.
Okay, you're sharing.
Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Just what I was talking about earlier is this sort of thing where the blurring is obviously there because of the movement,
Yes.
but you still see what the subject matter was. And I find that quite interesting because sometimes, and you'll see here, like this one, for example, is totally abstract, which is fine because the colors and the shapes and the lines are beautiful. And this is
Yes.
just a bush of white flowers in my garden. But
Yeah.
and this was taken well after sunset yesterday afternoon, so it was really quite dark. So my shutter speeds was really slow, and it worked perfectly in this instance. But this, for example, is also like a 20th of a second. It's not terribly slow, but it does
Yeah.
at least show a little bit of the detail, and I find that quite appealing personally.
Yeah.
This one is moving from left to right, following the motion of the rowers. So that actually this is also a double exposure if I remember correctly. So yeah, this one is interesting. It's that zoom that you were speaking about. It was a zoom out or a
Yes.
zoom in. I'm not totally sure which.
Yeah.
But I found that although the bench is not 100% sharp, I found it was quite appealing to have the movement and the static all within one frame.
Yes.
That I quite liked. I've shown you this one. This was also just zooming, just in the garden. Nothing. This was during our Christmas time. I also went zooming with all the Christmas lights, and I liked
Oh, yes.
the effects that it gave me, and there as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, pretty simple. There's nothing fancy about it. The only thing with this particular image, it wasn't quite dark enough, so I got quite an interesting background of the sunset as well as the Christmas tree and the reindeer,
Oh,
which was
yes.
an added bonus. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. You
Now how
can
do
just
I
stop sharing.
unstop share? Okay. Right. There.
Yes, there we go. Okay, so I hope we've given you some practical advice. I hope we've given you some ideas. I hope you're inspired. Are there any questions?
Questions? Yes, please.
Hi.
You all.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Lisa.
I just wanted to know, the question was sort of answered. You don't have to have a sharp center or sharp point in it.
No.
No. I think a sharp center will actually mean that you've cheated a bit and done double exposure.
Okay.
And or done layers, whereas it's limited editing. Is it limited editing?
Yes, it is
I
limited.
don't know. I'm reaching for my, yes, limited editing. So if you're on a tripod and you've done a really smooth zoom and a smooth zoom, then you could possibly have a sharp center. But no, you don't have to have a sharp center.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
Me,
Yes,
Les.
Les.
Hi.
Yes.
Double exposure, how do you do that? What is it? Sort of, can you explain that briefly?
Okay, so we
Or
will
not briefly.
do double exposure is coming up in May, and so we will do a Zoom then, like in April sometime. And the next
Okay,
time I
cool.
see you, Les, I'll show you.
Les, Les,
you.
just check
Yes.
what camera are you using, Les?
A Canon 70D.
Okay, I'm almost sure that it has got a double exposure feature built into it, and it's really well worth playing with that double exposure feature because it really gives you the most amazing effects, especially if, like I said just now, was you keep one still and one moving, it gives you weird, surrealistic type of images. I'm 90% sure that the 70D has got it built in. You must just look for it.
Yes, I'm
Go
sure.
back and read the manual
Yeah.
Okay.
when all else fails. Okay, thank you.
Just a quick
Pleasure.
one, guys. Sorry, are we
Yes.
allowed to do double exposure for this?
Why not? Because
I
it's
don't-
as long as there is movement visible, surely.
Yeah, because I can't see the
because
double
it's in
exposure
camera.
It's
as
It's
long
in
as you
camera.
do it in camera.
Yes.
Yeah, remember it can't be done post-processing because that's extensive processing.
Processing, yeah.
I've achieved some with double exposures, which are one-off images straight out of the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Corne, are you there? I think Corne is joined. I'm not sure. So she went to see her daughter's teacher today. So I just see MCC, so I just assumed that was Corne. I don't know. Look, it's in camera. I would think yes.
I don't see why
I
not.
agree. As long as it's not in post-processing, I
Yeah,
think
right.
it should be fine. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so quickly, I have got the R10, and you will have to look, just whatever camera you've got, you can go to Google, or as I say, Google it, and you type in your camera and you say double exposure, and then the ChatGPT will tell you whether you can do double exposure or not, and where to find it. I don't even know where mine is anyway. I was playing the other day.
It's under the first set of
The
functions.
first one.
Camera
The first one.
I think you go
One,
three along.
3. No, it's not 3, 4.
Okay, it's on the camera, the very first menu on the left-hand side, the red camera. It's number 6 of that menu.
Okay, number
6. Okay,
Yeah.
so it says multiple exposure, disable, raw burst, focus bracketing. So probably maybe where your camera's got focus bracketing, somewhere like that, you'll see multiple exposure. So if I click on it and
then you enable
it, then it usually then says number of exposures.
Yeah.
Okay. And then continue multiple, and there's all sorts of settings you can do. It's absolutely fabulous to play with. Okay. Yeah. Just remember where it is, so then you can go and turn it off. Like now, let me
There's just a quick one. Photo bracketing is something different, eh?
Sorry?
Photo bracketing is something
so we're not
different.
doing bracketing? No, but I'm just saying, if you're looking for it may be on the same menu.
Yes.
Yes.
And then something very interesting that I saw the other day is, although you can't change your settings when you're doing the double, sorry, we're getting off the topic here now, but when you're doing double exposure, you don't have to take the 2 photos right after each other. You can actually go back in your menu, find a photo, and then double expose over that again.
Ah, that's interesting.
Which is quite interesting. I didn't know that. I thought you had to take them in succession, but you don't have to. You can literally take 100 photos, choose one of those photos, and then double expose, but still in camera.
Oh,
I was quite impressed with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So especially for this, now that you're saying that if that's allowed in camera, so you can really take a very nice still photo, and then, like Leon says, just go to town on the double exposure then.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if it's in camera, that's not editing. So double exposure is allowed.
Okay,
so everyone, you've got ICM to play with. Please don't panic if you can't find double exposure. You don't know what it is. You can't do it. It just one by one. Step 1 is ICM. Step 2 is playing. Step 3 is choosing the right image. Step 4 and 5, double exposure. Okay. So please, if you can't get the double exposure and you're not quite sure, forget about it and go back to ICM. Get ICM perfected as abstract can be, as perfect as abstracty can be, and then we will be getting to double exposure. Okay, we will do. We probably need an in-house.
Can you just share again for me? I just want to show them a double exposure, but with movement, if you don't mind.
Okay. Do you want to share?
Gosh.
You can share. You still authorized to share?
Oh gosh.
There we go. You're sharing.
I just want to share. Yeah.
Yes, you're sharing.
Okay. Can you see that?
No.
Can you see this image?
Double click, Leon. Double click on it.
Can you see this image of trees?
Double click the image, Leon.
Oh gosh. Oh dear.
Okay, unshare,
Can you see
unshare and share
my-
again.
No. Can you see that?
No. Oh, no, he's gone. Oh, Leon. Okay, sorry, everyone. Okay, we'll just wait 2 minutes and see if he comes back. Are there any other questions? There we go, Leon's back. Okay.
Can you hear me
Leon,
now? Can you see?
Yes.
Let's try that share again
Yes.
quickly.
okay. Nothing.
Oh, gosh.
You must click share.
Can you see?
No. Have you shared? Click share.
Can you see my screen?
No. Oh, yes, then we
Not
can't.
yet.
Yeah, but we can't see any images.
Okay.
There we go. We can.
Okay.
Yay.
Now
Yes.
that image is a
Ooh.
double exposure. The first image was dead still. I took a dead still sharp image. And the second image, the double exposure on top of it had movement. So you see there's some areas that are very sharp and then some areas that are completely blurry.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
That's lovely. Yes. Can hear you. It's like a Ouija board. Can you hear me?
So that's a double exposure with one being not moving and the other one moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's gorgeous. Thanks, Leon. Stop sharing,
Okay, I'm
please.
stopping sharing.
Okay. Okay, are there any other questions, comments?
Okay.
There's
Very
yeah,
nice.
just a quick one. I agree with you. Just get the ICM going first.
I
Don't
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
you want to fiddle around with the double exposure, but the ICM is good fun. And like the one YouTube video I watched, it said viciously shake your camera. So don't be
Yes.
scared to shake your camera.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really it's good fun. And like you say, just keep going. But
Yeah.
if it's overexposed, there's not much you can do about that. Just keep pushing your f-stop up as high as possible. If it gets too dark, just drop your f-stop a little bit again. But you learn
Yeah.
your very, very quickly through that. But yeah, that's
Yes.
my 2
Yeah.
cents.
And
Thanks,
then
Mel.
play with your 1/20th of a second, 1 second kind of thing. I must say, I do prefer 1 or 2 seconds because then you really get a lovely, lovely blur. But then it does need to be dark somewhere inside or something. So, but yeah, play outside, play inside, but just play. This is, and you know, if you only get one, remember it's a maximum of 3 images that you enter. You don't have to enter 3 because Leon, look at it's like. So even if you just get one, please just enter one and have some fun. Okay. That's it. So
Thank you very
anything
much,
else?
Des, Leon. Thank you.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks, Mel.
Thanks,
That was
everybody.
good.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Leon. Welcome back.
Cheers.
Bye. Stopping recording.